Just wanted to make a quick follow-up video about the review I did on the patch note days. Just because I said Sinclair might be insane character or whatever type character, depending on the number he has. But then I viewed his kit again and I realized something. So basically this idea, right? So you want to roll the heads here. If you want the burn, if you want the rupture count, and it's the same thing on your skill 2. But on your skill 2, you also want to roll the heads. If you want the coin reuse, if you have blood flame of 50% or less HP, and for the extra damage. And on the skill 3, you do want the same, right? Heads hit, you deal 10% of this coin failure damage as gluttony, and then in the last coin you deal 20% damage of on all the target, right? So this guy already, you know, he wants to roll the heads if you want most damage possible. So this means he has to win clash and everything, right? But you can actually skip this phase. And because he has a lot of coins, it made me think that it's intended this way. So I think this guy is supposed to be subbed in, because obviously he has the line here, gain 3 blood flame if he's a substitute or returns in. So already, like PM is telling you, bro, if you sub him, if he returns, you get blood flame, right? So they are hinting at it, and then they are like, bro, if he hold the heads, you get the rupture count. And then, bro, if you roll the heads, you get the coin reuse, and he get the extra damage. It's like, okay, I see what you want, right? Basically, this Honglu here, if you know, he has the mechanism that when someone returns in the battle, if it's a Eishu, they use the skill tree unopposed and they get 20 SP. So basically, if you ever played the Maos and just the Eishus in general, you know that at some point, what the hell? You have a decent rupture stack. You have 10 count, 15 count, or something like this. And then basically, I think that's at this point that you want your Sinclair to enter the battle. Because at this point, he's gonna enter. So he gets the blood flame instantly. So if you have his skill 2, it's gonna be a 4 coiners if he roll the heads. But you're gonna get 20 SP from Honglu. You're gonna slot this skill in and clash, and maybe let's say you gain 15 SP from the clash, so you have 35 SP. You already have a lot more chance to roll the heads than not. And then if you do, you have 4 coins, so you have 4 coins of rupture proc here. And then you have the Honglu passive that triggers, so you have another 4 coins of proc here. And if you roll the heads, you have all the extra damage and everything. So that's why I think this guy is actually intended to be subbed in. And if for some reason he sub in and you don't have enough stack, like when you're counting how much you're going to consume and everything, you don't have enough, you just use his base ego and you have plus 12 rupture if you roll the heads. So that's just literally pretty OP. And yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say about him, right? So when I reviewed the patch note, I was more focused on playing him normally, which means you deploy him at the battle, like he's in the battle at the start and he has to clash, win the SP and everything. But then I realized he has way too many coins to be played like this if you want to build a rupture count stack. If you don't care, obviously, or if you play Mirror Dungeon, you don't give a shit about all of this. But if you want to play the rupture properly, then yeah, this guy might seem weird, but if you account for the sub mechanism and everything and the SP heal and all that, then suddenly it's not a problem anymore. And then you can retreat him when he's done nuking the stack, but I assume at this point, unless the boss has a trillion HP, the boss is literally already dead. So yeah. Now, just real quick, since I managed to get Yisang pretty quick, this guy was already very good from the kit, so not much more to say about that. Just check the numbers, just plus 1 count here, so you're -1. This one is count neutral +2 here, and this one is literally -3, right? That's the enhanced one that has a +2. So this one is -2. Skill 3 is literally -3. Skill 2 is neutral, and skill 1 -1. But you can just use Dimensional Shredder Ego. Very easy to fuel since you have Autis slot skill 1 and you have him with his slot skill 1. And then you use it once. You proc the passive. If you're faster than the target, you deal +1 rupture count 3 times per turn. That's not a problem here, unless you double slot him. And then he's literally always gonna be count neutral or count positive. There is no more problem with this guy, and there wasn't really a problem because He's not count negative enough to where it matters, and if it actually matters for whatever reason you need to save the stack, you have a clashable defense, so you're literally not gonna touch the rupture stack at all if you want to use this. So yeah, and you have Strider Wu, obviously, gives you haste. So this one is actually haste and aggro, because he's a tank character. He has 60 defense level, like Kicker Ponglu, by the way, and he gains shield and everything. So he's more a tanky type character. You want him to tank the hits for your IDs and everything, but he can deal very decent amount of damage with his skill 3-2 here, and by just proccing the rupture. So this guy just very good. Just use Dimensional Shredder and you have no issue. Or you don't even have to use Dimensional Shredder Ego if you know what you're doing and if you don't want to use it, or if you don't have it, I guess. But yeah, this guy very good. Sinclair has a very specific intended play style. And if you play him like he's intended to be played, and he's a very good character actually, because he proc rupture a lot. If you just play him like you don't care about the count and everything, then he's still very good because he deals a lot of damage. But if you wanted to deploy him at the start like I wanted to, and build your stack while he's with you in the battle, that yeah, he's not intended for this at all. And yeah,